Let me recognize the gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Hern.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam Ambassador, thanks. Great to see you again. Last May, I sent you a letter with over 100 of my colleagues, Republicans and Democrats, urging action to prevent further disruption in the price of lumber. At that time of the letter, lumber prices had skyrocketed more than 300% over the previous year.
Did a good job.
In December, I once again joined Congressman Higgins and nearly 100 bipartisan members of Congress to send a second letter to the Biden administration, this time to the Commerce Secretary Raimondo, voicing concerns over the Department of Commerce's decision to increase anti-dumping and countervailing duties on softwood lumber products from Canada. We remain concerned that this will further exacerbate the lumber crisis. Lumber prices have skyrocketed again since last fall. The most recent spikes have added more than $18,500 to the price of an average new single-family home and nearly $8,000 to the price of a multifamily home. These volatile prices increases are pricing families out of the American dream of owning a home and beginning to affect the economic practicality for investment in new projects. Inflation and high prices are hurting hard-working Americans. We see it every day. Madam Ambassador, lumber remains at historically high levels, and May 13th last year, I spoke to you on this same issue before this very same committee. And on that day, the Canadian consulate called me after our discussion, and we had about a 1-hour conversation. Obviously, she's sharing her part on what they thought was the opportunities. I'm sure they are watching again today, and lumber prices are adding substantially to the cost of constructing a home. This is obviously having an increasingly negative impact on housing affordability, and we still don't have a softwood lumber agreement with Canada. As best that we can tell, we aren't even at the negotiating table on this, and despite many assurances that both sides are eager to resolve this problem, could you take the remaining 2 minutes and 50 seconds and explain what the progress is and how we're going to resolve this critical issue?
Congressman Hern, I'd be happy to, and I appreciate your concern on this issue and the consistency of your advocacy and the expressions of your worry here. Our dispute with Canada over softwood lumber and how they produce theirs has been one of these long-standing problems in our relationship, and it goes to a fundamental incompatibility between our economic systems, not unlike what we have with dairy, but we'll just set that aside. So this is an issue that is baked into a difficulty baked into our close and important relationship with Canada economically over time. In terms of the latest fluctuations, thank you for recounting all of the ups and downs. I remember our conversation from last May, and I also remember over the course of the summer, I think last fall, lumber prices came back down as more mills came back online in grappling with COVID, and then they've gone back up again. So I think that there is a supply chain element to this also. But I want to assure you that ensuring that U.S. softwood lumber producers are able to compete on a level playing field against the harmful effects of unfairly subsidized and dumped Canadian imports is an important priority for us. It is our view that our trade remedy laws are working as they should. I frequently, nevertheless, in recognizing the disruptions in the market, I frequently discuss softwood lumber issues with my Canadian counterpart. And we as an administration are open to resolving our differences with Canada over softwood lumber. But that does require both of us to come to the table with a willingness to address the underlying difficulties in the compatibility of our systems. That door is always open, but it does take two to tango. And I hope that if you get another phone call from the Canadian Embassy, please let us know how it goes, and we will continue to work with you on this.
We certainly know that you care a lot about this issue. You've seen this issue on this committee for a number of years. It's certainly not something that's been recently created, but we do need to find a resolve to it because it is impacting the very premise of the American dream of owning a home. And our American people are being crushed across many silos, whether it's food or medicines or energy. This is one of those areas that we've had a long time to look at it and would appreciate all of your counsel in resolving this issue as quickly as possible. Thank you. I yield back.